I would like to welcome Søren Jeksen from Solid Wind Power. And Solid Wind Power, it's a Danish manufacturer. And now yesterday we have had Tymmerland, we have had Viking Wind. So now it's the time to Søren to explain about their projects and products. Good morning, Søren.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you can read and hear me loud and clear.
Yes, just
I have shared my screen and it should be visible now for all of you. So first of all, thank you very much for inviting me. It's a pleasure for me to have the opportunity at least to give a short introduction to our company, Solid Wind Power, and what we do with our small wind turbine portfolio. Solid Wind Power is part of the Solid Group company, which is a private held company by a local situated family. We are with the family located in the western part of Jutland. If you see on the right side of the presentation, you see outlined Denmark, and the red cycle is basically where we are located in the city of Skjern. The area itself is pretty known for its competence cluster of wind. So some of our neighbors in the vicinity is Vestas, if not the Vestas headquarters, at least the originated headquarters of Vestas. And very close nearby, we have the head office of Siemens Wind Power, or Siemens Gamesa, previously known as Bonus Energy. Our company initially started out as a steel shop, supporting local fishermen, but also the agricultural segment. And later on, we actually moved into the offshore business with lifting equipment. In 2008, 2012, we actually started out following the incubating action from the government of actually to see whether it could be feasible to develop a small wind industry derived from the larger wind industry. And we started out with a design based on a known design developed by Robert Bosted, which in 1998 had a wind turbine, which we actually based our own design on. And we launched our first small wind turbine in 2012. And adjacent to that, we actually established our second business unit called the Small Wind Business Unit. In addition to small wind, our company is also focusing on heat pumps for district users. So these are small to larger heat pumps units from 2 megawatt and basically upwards to, in module of 2.5 megawatt. Today we are just about 40 people. Half of them is working with small wind. We are working also with external consultants, and we have more or less 2 to 3 100% allocated resources supporting from outside consultants. The area itself in which we are residing is pretty much in the east outskirt of Skjern. If you see in the center of the slide, lower part, you will see the area on which we are residing, just about 11,000 square meter area. We do have 2 turbines installed on the premises for testing purpose, and also in order to test and work out the installation and services sequences. Our portfolio covers mainly two design from where we are deriving different configurations. Following through on the first slide, I would like to say that the major reason why we are in the market is not only because of the previous state-funded incubation action, or you could say the state-funded feed-in tariffs, which were available not only in Denmark throughout 2016 and upwards to the end of 2018, but also seen in Canada and Italy and Japan, Taiwan, UK market, and I'm sorry if I forget some markets, but initially these were the drivers for initiating small wind on a larger scale. Many of these fundings are not available any longer, but throughout these feed-in tariff schemes, we were actually able to industrialize our product to the point where we are today capable of meeting a competitive LCOE, meaning that we are able to produce a electricity price with the turbine, which is very much competitive to not all the markets worldwide, but for sure in the Central European part, we are able to compete with the existing grid pricing with this application. And this goes actually for not only the turbine itself, relative to its ability to produce energy, but also if you consider a 20-year service contract in which you consider all the operational expenditure. So we do have an application on specific markets where we are highly competitive, not only on the grid pricing or against the grid pricing, but also if you look on an outlook forward, we can warrant more or less, assuming we have wind, a flat pricing on the electricity. So these are two major driving forces for us to be in the market. So the two portfolio we are marketing actively on the markets are on the left side, the turbine we call the O design, some would say the original design, based on the Ørsted turbine from 1988. And on the left side, we have the T design. Some call it also the Land Rover. In principle, they are almost equal. We use the same installation and services principle. We use the same building parts, the same components. The major difference is the O design on the left side was born with a 14-meter rotor. It's an IEC wind class 3, and it has actually a 2-generator solution with the design philosophy to support also production in low wind scenarios. The turbine on the right side is a IEC wind class 2, and it was born with a 16-meter rotor. We later on actually updated the O design for specific markets with a 60-meter rotor as well. They are both applicable for a conical tower structure, and we deliver them in various tower heights, such as 15, 17, and 18 meters, which are all related to national requirements or opportunities. The turbine on the right side is also available on a fixed tower, lattice tower, 22 meters. We tend to focus on the T design when it comes to new market introduction, but both turbine portfolios are available for all the markets. Throughout the time, we have had opportunities, and mainly driven by national requirements and also national feed-in schemes, to adjust the output power or the nominal power of the turbines. So the turbines are seen and available in the past on various output power. So on the left, we have also a 10 kilowatt and a 19.8 kilowatt configuration. And the turbine on the right side is available also in the past, I have to say, as a 10, 19.4, and today 25 kilowatt. And the major driver for these various configurations have been the national requirements, but mainly related to feed-in schemes. I would say to currently deployment, the O design is for the vast majority installed in Denmark and the Asian market, but is actually also being highly deployed in the Netherlands. The turbine on the right side is mainly used for new introduction, new markets, and lately been installed in Germany, Belgium, France, Norway, and later on we'll see a project in Switzerland as well. As said, the layout, the components is equal to each other. Finally, I could say the turbine on the right side, we had a lot of emphasis in simplicity and in lowering the OPEX cost. So we put quite a lot of effort in the simplicity of the layout of the turbine and the actual nacelle. So the T design is somewhat simpler in the layout versus the O design. The turbine itself is what we consider a Danish design. It's also Danish almost from its country of origin, meaning that all the components we source are European originated components. That I can say to the first, second, and third tier of sub-suppliers. What happens besides and beyond that, I don't know. But we do really focus on having a Danish European originated turbine. So for instance, the generator is German, so are the brakes. The gearbox is Swedish, our control system and Yori gearing is Danish. The steel is European and has up to now been manufactured and machined by sister companies, and now we use a partner in the Poland and Czech area. All the fiber parts for the turbines, such as the blades and our hoods, cover parts, are produced in our own facilities. The building principle does not derive from larger wind turbine building principle. However, we are using only polyester-based resin and standard glass fiber components. When looking to our export market and internal projects, we are capable of providing training and services for not only our own people or employees, but also for the export markets. Our export is carried out with local partners, which we appoint and develop by ourselves. We do train them in terms of the commercial aspects, in terms of selling, but also for sure in the operational aspects, being how to build the foundation and how to install and how to service the turbine. And for that reason, shown on the right side of the slide, we do now and then have visitors from our local partners for which we are carrying out training sessions and learning sessions. The pictures on the left side were intended to give you an impression that the turbine is built within 5 to 8 hours, meaning that after the foundation is laid, which is a circular foundation of 4.4, actually 4.2 to 4.4, and in some countries we have even 4.6. We have mainly circular design, but we also have squared design. But having laid down the foundation, we arrive at the site with one turbine fitted on a standard trailer or in a standard container, 40 foot. We install the turbine with 2 individuals between 5 and up to 8 hours. And then it's basically being commissioned and it is in operation the same day. We are 9 people in service and technology with more than, as I say, 100 years of experience. 6 of these 9 people are working with mainly servicing more than 500 turbines in Denmark, but also coping with supervision in export markets and also installation work and special projects. All our turbines are supervised by a SCADA solution, supervised control and data acquisition, and we call that our solid SCADA. We do have various license levels, starting from end user, giving the user right to view the live performance of the turbine. We are able, from our headquarters in Skjern, to monitor all our deployed turbines. As a backhaul for the SCADA solution, we are mainly utilizing the mobile infrastructure deployed and available worldwide, known as GSM, UMTS, 4G, LTE, IoT, and even 5G. So we are utilizing all the multiple band available. There is a tendency that the 2G and 4G, so the GSM and the UMTS network, is being decommissioned, and the frequency are being moved to the higher bands like 5G and 4G LTE. But our connectivity is able to cope with that. We have a number of turbines also being able to be connected through the Ethernet. So there is an Ethernet port available in the turbine as well. As said, we do monitor all the turbines for the customers who have a service level agreement, mainly our reseller and distributors. We do provide 24/7, 365 days supervision and monitoring. For the, let's say, users not wanting or not having the benefits, we are monitoring them within the daily work hour. We are capable of using the data for optimizing the turbine's performance, but also to optimizing relative to quality. So what I'm saying is that we are using the data available from the turbine to run a predicted maintenance program. We have not yet implemented any artificial intelligence on the data scripts, but one could envision that you could move from preventive to prescriptive maintenance based on these data. The turbine originates every month between 15 and 20 megabit of data. So over the lifetime, it does accumulate to a certain amount of data. All in all, the solid SCADA enable real-time insight and quick response time when needed. Some of the last slides, these are, despite the fact that these are a couple of years old, these pictures, they do show the deployment of our portfolio. We are exceeding 1,000 turbine installed and in operation worldwide. So we do feel that our product is not only well designed, certified, but also now a proven industrialized design. The turbine is also certified according to the IEC power measurement, but we do typically also show real-time data from our installed base. These are some of the examples I have been used in various presentation situations, but what we are trying to say is that they are not only certified, but they are also capable in real life on proper sites to perform as they have been certified. And that is what these slides or these pictures shows. This is one turbine on the left side, actually a Danish located site with a 40-meter rotor producing almost 93,000 kilowatt hours after 12 months of operation. The latter one, or the one on the right side, is a Dutch turbine on a 60-meter rotor, having produced 30,622 kilowatt hours. It might not be the best example. It's only a half year of operation, but it did indicate for the customer and answered the customer's request to understand real-time and real-life experience on the performance. One of the last slides, I know that we have talked about our activities within special projects. We do not only to, let's say, meet the requirements for our employees and technology to have something fun to work with, but we also tend to take upon a number of special projects in trying to push the envelope of the turbine's ability, kind of working outside the standard area of intention and the standard area of for which it's originated, designed for. We have had projects on the northern side of Hokkaido in Japan, and we have had and still have a project on a Greenland northwestern coast. And now we have entered into a project in Switzerland in the canton of Graubünden. And the main question here is trying to understand the feasibility of establishing renewable energy sources or energy generation on a high altitude alpine environment. So we have been provided with a test site starting at just about 2,500 meter height, going up to 2,700 meter. And there we have installed a small wind turbine at 25 kilowatt on a tilt foot. And so far so good. It was actually installed this month, early this month. The challenge was mainly the access to the site, for which we used a material lift, and we also used helicopters for the purpose of lifting up heavy equipment. The helicopter itself was also used to install the turbine, so it was acting as a crane. So far, it showed out that we can use almost standard procedures for preparation and pre-installation activities. Now we have to see within the next 12 months how the turbine and the wind turbine application itself performs at these conditions. But very exciting. The project was carried out with a local partner. that sums up my presentation. I think we're allowed to have 25 minutes. I'm open to any questions.
Thank you very much, Søren. It's actually quite nice to see the turbine on the mountain. See how well it is integrated in the landscape. Is there any question from the audience? No.
Then I would say thank you. And since it's Friday, I will also wish you all.
Ulrich is asking what is the levelized cost of electricity?
I don't know how much time we have, but I do actually have some calculation I would like to show. But in a very short matter, assuming we have 5 meters per second wind available, and assuming that the capex is around 170,000 euros for a turnkey solution, then the turbine will have an LCOE of just about 8.5 euro cent per kilowatt hours. If we add on a 20-year service contract, coping with the spare parts, so the consumables and the SCADA, machine insurance, man-hour, driving cost, then we are on a LCOE of 14 euro cent. If I add on a worst case scenario in which I add on a little bit more OPEX in the latter end of the design lifetime, so for instance, if I add on additional spares in the lifetime of or lifespan of 15 to 18 years, then we are at a 18 euro cent LCOE.